If you're a physio starting from scratch online and you think that your first step is to just dive in and post lots and lots of content, it is not. If I was starting again from scratch with no audience, no previous experience, no trust built up online, here is the very specific order of actions that I would follow to grow my page again. So, most physios struggle because they skip the boring part and they jump straight into action. And that boring part is essential to the success of the whole process, and it's all around gaining clarity. So, in this video, I will show you the exact approach that I would take if I was to start from scratch to build a successful online physio business all over again. The vast majority of physios will jump straight to action, and action in the form of just posting lots of content online and hoping that it works out. And this is where they'll be. So, they will get their tripod out, they'll get to the gym, they might record some exercise demos. They'll start sharing random tips and bits of advice and maybe anything specifically that they're learning in that week. In general, they will model their approach of what they see other successful people do online without any idea of the strategy or the thinking behind the other people's content that they put out. So, as a result, in them just copying other people's approaches and strategies, their content generally, unfortunately, it fades into the background. There's a crazy stat that on average people scroll through 338 meters of social media content per day. So just to give you an idea of the amount of content that people consumes. So if we're very vague in general with the content that we put out there, it's just going to fade into that noise and not going to stand out or speak to anyone. As a result, in these cases, this type of content gains little to no traction. When I say traction in this context, I don't necessarily mean it doesn't get lots of likes or views. I mean that it doesn't speak to anyone deeply enough for them to want to reach out and engage in the service that you're providing. Because at the end of the day, the goal of you posting online as an online physio is to generate clients for your business. So yeah, that's the whole issue with it. It's very generic content that speaks to no one specifically. So as a result, they generate no leads, and the physio themselves think that there's a problem with them, or else there's just a problem with the online space in general. And they get to this kind of burnt out phase thinking that they're doing all this hard work posting content, but they're getting no traction, they're getting no leads, and they're earning no money. So they end up just thinking that online doesn't work. So instead of just focusing on getting lots and lots of content out there online at the start, I would suggest you take a step before you dive into the action and you get clear on a couple of things. The first thing to get clear on is your niche. And your niche is a combination of two things. It is the specific group of people that you want to help with your service, and also the specific problems that you want to help these people with. When it comes to deciding who the best niche is for you, there is two different lenses that we look through. So the first one is obviously we want the niche that you choose to be in alignment with your own personal interests, your own experience, and a group of people that you really, really want to help, that excites you. Because that's one of the beautiful things about starting a business from scratch. You have the freedom and liberty to choose a group of people that you want to work with. So that's obviously the first part. If we're building a business on the back of helping a specific group of people, they have to ignite your fire, let's say. Then the second lens is the business viability lens. So obviously, if we're choosing to build a business or in helping a specific group of people, it has to make sense from a business point of view to help these people. So there's a couple of things that we look at to determine whether a group of people, like a niche, is viable from a business point of view. The first one is pain. Is the problem that we're solving for these people deep enough a pain for them to want to invest in it? A nice question to ask to kind of figure out this for the niche that you want to serve is, do these people already pay money to solve this problem? So for example, in the physio context, do people already go to in-person physios and pay for in-person physio sessions to solve this problem? If you can answer yes to that, then it's a fair sign that the pain is great enough for them to take action and invest on. The second one, obviously, because we're working in the context of an online physio business, we have to make sure that we can access our niche, access like our ideal clients within this niche. So, for example, it wouldn't make sense to try and target elderly people who are 70 plus, who maybe don't have much online presence. Then the third and final thing is, it sounds simple, but it's a very important factor to consider when you're at this niche decision stage, is making sure that the people that we want to serve can actually afford our expertise and afford our service. So for example, I wouldn't be targeting kids in high school who maybe don't have much financial wherewithal. So yeah, another factor to keep in mind. So ultimately, the best niche for you is at the intersection of these three areas: your experience, your interests, and the business reality of working with these people. Okay, so once we got clear on who the best niche is for you, then it is time to go a layer deeper to understand the ideal clients within this niche on a psychographic level. So, what I would do here is get obsessively clear on things like: what are they frustrated by? What have they already tried that hasn't worked? What are they afraid of if nothing changes? What do they extremely want but are afraid to say out loud? All of these factors matter because people don't buy based on logic. They buy because they feel understood. So, if we can clearly communicate that we understand our ideal client's inner content, then they'll be far more likely to build trust with us and potentially put their hands up as leads to work with us. So, this deep understanding of the psychographic factors can be used to inform a lot of our content and content strategy. So, instead of our ideal clients just scrolling past our content, because we understand them at this deep level, they will stop on our content and think, holy shit, like this physio gets my exact pains, my exact needs, my exact desires and frustrations. And this is the point that your content stops being like another part of the noise of social media content, and it starts to actually generate leads for your business. Once we understand our niche and the psychographic factors of the people within this niche, and we've then used that to inform our content strategy, then it is time to get clear on the offer. And my suggestion to you when you start out is to have a simple one-to-one offer and try not to get confused with all different things like courses and mentorships and fancy funnels. I would just nail one simple one-to-one offer where you solve one specific problem and you provide one specific outcome with a clear solution for your ideal clients within this niche. I might even work with the first few clients for free or at a highly reduced rate, because when you start off online, the goal with the first few clients is just to run people through your system and service so you make sure that it gets the results that you say it does. But also, the quicker that we can get positive client results means the quicker that we can get client testimonials. And like real client proof and testimonials are going to be the most powerful marketing tool that you'll ever have in the online context. So once you have your offer in place, don't be shy about reducing the price of your service or even offering some for free so you can get those initial client results and initial testimonials, which will propagate that future business. We then have the green light to start really pushing with our content. I would suggest, if you're using Instagram as your main channel, to post 5 times per week. The days that I post are Monday to Thursday and also on Sundays, because generally you'll find that there'll be less people active on Instagram on Fridays and Saturdays. So they're the days that I post. Some things to make sure to include in your Instagram content are as follows. So, all of our content should be directed at our ideal clients. So, we should speak to the specific pains of these people within our content. We should also refer to the unique solution that we provide in our service, to help people get the outcomes that they're looking for. Because now we have had a few clients through the service and we have some initial testimonials, I would be sure to share some form of social proof on a weekly basis. Social proof can be things like client wins, client testimonial videos, just to basically prove that you can provide what you say you provide. And then also in all your content, I would have some form of clear call to action. So this can be directing people to a link in your bio. It can be asking people to vote in a story poll. It can be asking people to DM a specific word. Ultimately, we need our followers to have 100% clarity in the next step that they have to take to work with us if they want to. It's then just about getting into the rhythm of consistently posting online. And I like this Hormozy quote, it sums it up nicely. The world belongs to those who can keep doing without the results of their doing. So I can tell you this from experience: building a business in social media is more a marathon than a sprint. And especially starting out, it is probably the most difficult phase of growing your online physio business, because you're putting in all of this front end work to get content out there and design the back end of your system. And quite likely, over the first couple of months, you're going to get very little external validation in the form of financial earnings or followers or likes or things like that. So ultimately, those who can keep doing without the results of their doing showing up in the immediacy, they're the ones who will succeed in the long run. So it's just about getting clear on the actions that you have to perform on a weekly basis, trust in them, and know that although maybe you might not get tons of followers and likes and views starting out, just to know that this trust will compound over time. And it's funny, things happen initially slower than you expect, but then they compound and they will happen all of a sudden way quicker than you ever thought possible. Here's a screenshot of my own inbox on Instagram from the last month. And at this stage of my business, I'm getting anywhere between 40 and 60 inbound leads per month for my online physio business. So inbound meaning people are reaching out to me for help. So just to give you an idea that starting off, it can feel slow, it can feel monotonous, and there might not be lots of immediate return. But just know that your efforts and your trust online that you're building, they will compound over time to eventually a point where you're overrun with demand. If this intrigues you, the whole idea of building your online physio business and helping people that you're passionate about and earning online in 2026, then I've created a free training that walks you through the exact first steps that you can use to start earning online as a physio. You'll find that in the description below. But other than that, I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully you got some use out of it, and I will see you in the next one.